Oh, I missed him. Haha. Oh, hi. Sorry, man. I forgot what I was doing for a second. Welcome back to another video. This time I'm not going to be doing a Game Boy because I've run out of handhelds to mod. So that's going to be later projects down the line. I'm sure I'll do something else. This time I'm focusing on my old, very well worn, great purple Nintendo 64 controller. It's seen me through some GoldenEye, some Perfect Dark, everything. Everything I did on a Nintendo 64 I did with this once I got it. And over the years I cleaned the joystick and re-greased it several times, but as you can see it always reverts back to full of crap and not working. So I tried to play GoldenEye a few days ago, and instead of going forwards when you want, you're moving along and he's just looking and you're turning all over the place. It's like it's got drift, it's developed drift over the years. So what I've decided to do is get rid of that and put another one in. So I've purchased this from our friends at Zedlabz. They make a lot of cool retro mods and gear, by the way, so you'll check them out. I've purchased a new analog, or a modern style analog thumbstick for the controller. It looks like a relatively easy switch because it's only on a plug. So it's just a case of unzipping the controller, removing the old stick and putting this in. However, if you don't want to do that, I will also show you how to open these up and clean them should you want to maintain your original joystick. But I'm going to take my chances and install a new one. Just, you know, if I don't want to be playing it when I'm 64, I want a joystick that will still work when I'm 64. So let's get this all undone and see what we've got. So I think that's all of them out now. There we go, take the back off. Remove your shoulder buttons because they're going to come out anyway. Unloop the cable from the pegs. Make sure that your controller cable isn't somewhere where it is with me on the floor in the way. Your joystick is plugged into this blue plug here, just on the underside, so you can just get your thumbnail or a flat blade screwdriver there, just pop that out. There's 3 screws again around the edge that hold the joystick into the controller shell. The 4th screw there is to hold the 2 pieces of the joystick together, the outer shell. So I'll show you that in a second. But what you want to do is just remove these 3. Now once you've done that, before you pull it out, you've got to clip the Z button just out of this joystick here. So you pull one of those clips back and just slide it out, and that will lift forward, and you can remove the joystick. We'll just put that to one side. So if you're going to be cleaning the joystick, a lot of dirt's fallen out of this controller already. If you're going to be cleaning the joystick, what you'll need to do is just pop this screw out. You must remember how they go back together though, because it's a series of small bits inside. Small parts. Get him out. And then the top will just pop open. But put some pressure on there and just remove these 2 clips. And then the whole assembly should pop away, leaving you with the inside of the controller. As you can see, over the years, a lot of dirt and grime is built up in there. These will all need cleaning off. In order to dismantle it, you'll just push down on there, twist the joystick so that it pops out. Then you can remove the spring and the rocker, clean that and grease that back up and reassemble. The joystick can also be removed to be cleaned, and all of this can be cleaned. It's definitely worth cleaning there because it's where most of the parts end up. As you can see, there's all sorts of dead skin and bits of old plastic in there. Again, to reassemble, you just the reverse. But as you can see in there, you get over the years you get a massive build up of bits of dried up lubricant that they've used, bits of dead skin, bits of muck. So you'd clean all that out. Get this part cleaned out. The sensors should be fine, but make sure there's no muck on the wheels. This whole assembly can be dismantled, cleaned and put back in. Make sure to put some sort of grease or lubricant in there just to keep the plastic sliding, because over the years as it wears out you tend to end up with rough edges on rubbing on each other, I'm not going to be doing that to this one today. So I'm going to put all that to one side again. But remember, I will have to briefly reassemble. So remember when reassembling, just get the joystick through. Give it a couple of twists. Drop the washer back on. You have to remember that that goes facing down. Put over there and just twist that so that the joystick's locked in. You can then press down on the seal, the O-ring or gasket, just to get that all lined up again. But when that's in, you've got to make sure that the orientation is correct. So in order to put that in, we would need to rotate that to the center. Just make sure again it's all sat on top of that spring and nothing is moving around, otherwise you're going to get into all sorts of trouble, like I'm doing here. See, which tried to disassemble itself, so just get that back into position. It is quite fiddly to do. Once that's on, you must ensure that that is central, going together with this, otherwise when you pop that together, your joystick is just going to pop off in whatever direction. Usually ends up pointing up or down. So now I've got him in the correct way up. Put them in together. And if you get it in the correct way, the joystick will stay central. If you don't, it won't go together at all. So I realised even though I've done this before, I put the rockers on upside down, so I've had to change them over. The large one goes in the controller, the small one goes on the top. So it's been a long time since I've done this. I did forget which way around they went in. But let me just show you what happens if you put it in off centre and you don't go straight in. You end up with the joystick stuck in one position. So make sure to avoid this when you're reassembling. And ensure that the bottom half is dead centre there. And as you push that down, the stick will go back together. Pop your screw back in, plug him in and zip your pad up, and away you go. And it doesn't take too long to do. It's just a bit of a fiddly job. Once you've done it a few times, it's quite easy to put back together. So just pop the screw back in there. We don't need him for now. Get some more of that dirt out of the controller. Pull the PCB away. There's nothing holding it down on the Nintendo 64, so you can just remove that and put that to one side. Take the rubbers off. Drop the buttons out. Filth with all the years of wear and tear. And I'm just going to go and chuck these in a bowl of soapy water, get them cleaned off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we've got all that cleaned, we can start reassembling the controller, starting with the new joystick. So just the same as disassembling, so I won't really talk over this much. I'll speed through this. We'll get him reassembled. And there we go, all back together, all buttons working with a new type of joystick in. So this needs testing out. Let's put GoldenEye on and have a look. Okay, so here we are. I've got the N64 on over there, got the controller in. Let's have a little play, see what we've got, and enjoy the left-handed player, by the way. Here we go. Isn't it funny how games turned out? That was a bad start. Sure, there's a geezer in this tower. There's his mate over there. See if we can get him with a fine aim before he sees us. So the joystick's a little stiff to manipulate. It makes the moves a little jarring, but I'm sure with time you'll get used to that, or even that the stick will loosen up. You're playing a game you remember with a completely different interface for the looking now, so it will take a bit getting used to. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine with all your conventional platformers and other games on the Nintendo 64, but it's not quite sensitive enough for Nintendo, you know, for first-person shooters on this. Unfortunately, I seem to struggle a little with the aim or the turn. It seems to be very jumpy. Tell you what, let's forget these guys and just open the gate. Alright, you know, it's war. What else we got? This guy here, let's get him. See how it jumps? There's no... The very first movement isn't very subtle. But that may be how it is. I haven't played this game for a long time, so it may have just been my memory here. I don't believe I just did that. Well, anyway, there you go. Nice upgrade for your Nintendo 64. The joystick is, like I kept saying, sorry, it is a little stiffer than what you'd be used to, but it looks like a nice finish. It feels very nice. With a bit getting used to and a bit wearing in, I'm sure it'd be a perfect complement to your controller. So if you enjoyed that, thank you very much for watching again. Hopefully next time I'll be back with a different mod, something a little more outlandish than just upgrading my controller, but I thought it was worth showing, especially if you're not going to use this. At least you can see how best to clean the controller up and reassemble. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.